Hello and welcome to another video by Rick Miracle May in my series Freemasonry and Satanism. This is a new book review. It's April 16th, the year 2020. The world is in the coronavirus lockdown. People can't go to work. Businesses, hair salons, gymnasiums, you name it, everybody's out of business. All over the world. There's supposed to be a new world order, a global world order, a global world religion. So I continue to do research and try to make sense of everything. And this new series is 283, Part 1. I've been reading this book, Kabbalah Secrets Christians Need to Know. An in-depth study of the kosher pig and the gods of the Jewish mysticism, Dean Loper. So I think I have a good idea what's going on, but like everybody else, I continue to do research and learn something new every day. So I've been reading this book and I've been astounded. Let me read from the back of the book. In this study, the author presents information from Kabbalistic and Babylonian Talmudic sources which document the strange belief system of Jewish mysticism known as Kabbalah. These writings, kept secret for millennia, reveal the rabbinic timeline of events which claim that humanity is now in the footsteps of the final redemption. Based primarily on a prophet from the Zohar, the author uncovers how Kabbalah is being disseminated on a global scale as the light of the nations and at the last necessary step to prepare the world to receive the Moshiach of Israel, the Messiah of Israel. So who would that be? Checking my camera focus. Christianity is not immune. The book will also demonstrate how the church has been seeded with Kabbalistic influences in the form of teachings and books designed to pique the innate curiosity of the mind with terms such as ancient mysteries, secret wisdom, the keys of knowledge, classic New Age expressions, which have been used for centuries by all occult groups of Freemasonry. My series is Freemasonry and Satanism. This seems to tie it together. Kabbalah Secrets Christians Need to Know, Dean Loper. If I'm saying her name right, I apologize if I'm saying it wrong. So the whole world is in lockdown. We're inching closer to this global world order, global world religion. Our leaders have been signing into law something called Noahide laws, which is to be the religion of the land. And the first law is, if you believe in a false idol, punishment can be by decapitation, off with your head. And apparently the past dozen or so presidents have signed the Noahide laws into law in the United States, and apparently all over the world. So apparently this Noahide laws, Talmud laws, Zohar laws, Zionist laws, Kabbalah laws is coming to the world, whether we like it or not. And as part of prophecy says, apparently, if you deny pledging allegiance to this deity, whether it's Lucifer, Metatron, Moloch, Baal, whatever they name or person they give it, punishment can be by decapitation. And there's plenty of information on the internet that the governments have already purchased guillotines. You can't make this up. You can look it up. So they mention Freemasonry, Theosophy, Kabbalah. The very idea of a new age or paradigm shift can be traced to the oracles of the Babylonian mysticisms, the roots and branches of which can be seen throughout the framework of the kingdom of God as foretold by the Kabbalist. Today we are witnessing a transformation of the gospel, in which the centrality of the position of Jesus Christ in Scripture is gradually being replaced. So Jesus Christ is gradually being replaced. By whom, you might ask? Most importantly, the evidence presented in this book will prove that the God of today's Kabbalah and Talmudic Judaism is not the true God of the Bible, and that the current convergence of Christians placing themselves under rabbinic authority would lead them to another gospel, another spirit, another Jesus, and another kingdom. So I've been reading this book, and I thought I'd read a little bit from it and throw in my 2 cents. And after that, I already did it. I went on Yahoo image site, and I plugged in different keywords into the image search engine. And I came up with some pictures, and I discussed the issue. And I'd like to add that as the second part of my discussion from this book, to try to share what I believe is the reality of the world we live in, and who's in control of our world, and what it means for people to have a decision to make, that they do want to destroy the other religions in the world, in particular Christianity. Obviously Islam, they've been destroying the Middle East for 20 years since 9/11, and so much more, taking communism into China, controlling India, and a lot of Asia, and a lot of death in Africa and South America, the whole world, World War I, World War II, French Revolution, British Revolution, Russian Revolution, Chinese Revolution, where many Christians and other good people were killed. It's been a systematic, ongoing plan for 300 years. And maybe, with this world shutdown, the game is about to come to a conclusion, come to an end, where people will be forced to take vaccines and IDs in their bodies and fulfill biblical prophecy. I hope not, but here we go. So according to this book, what I was reading, the Kabbalah, according to the rabbi teacher, you can get this book and read this, maybe find some videos with Deanne Looper talking with people on the YouTube videos or other videos, because YouTube and Vimeo are canceling people's channels who talk about things apparently they don't want us to talk about. So I've gone now to BitChute and trying some other things on the internet to get my many videos that I've made in the past 10 years out there. But according to this book on page 26, with this new teaching and this new religion, the prince of this world, Metatron, true identity revealed, Metatron equals prince of the world, Lucifer. According to this rabbi, Rabbi Ishmael stated, Metatron, prince of the present star, if you can see it there, sorry, getting used to a new camera, the center of this video, Metatron, prince of the present, said, so Metatron, prince of the presence. So Metatron is the prince of the presence, our world. And apparently Lucifer has been called the prince of the world. So it says here, the prince of this world, Metatron's true identity revealed. Metatron equals prince of the world equals Lucifer. But God said, I am the Lord, that is my name, and my glory I will not give to another, on Isaiah 42.8. So on page 26 it says, it is apparent from Shapira's regard of Metatron that he puts much confidence into Jewish mystical writings, which he refers to as deeper waters. These esoteric books deny the deity of Jesus Christ, yet give preeminence to a fallen angel and name him as equal to God the Creator. Kabbalah Secrets Christians need to know. Again and again we see that Shapira has no problem relying on dramatia and mysticism to support his thesis that Metatron is Yoshia. So they want to call Jesus Yoshia. Enoch, Book of Enoch, and even El Shaddadi, I guess that's Islamic entity, deity. On page 242 and 244, Shapira provides us with the following formulas to illustrate Metatron's divine nature and equality with God. And like I said, the second half of this video, I went on Yahoo image site and looked up some words like Metatron and Lucifer and other symbols with the six-pointed star to kind of show that between the people controlling our world, the corporations, Hollywood, the government, and all of that is under the control of the prince of this world, Lucifer, Metatron, Satan, whatever you want to call it. Part of biblical prophecy. And apparently, according to God in the Bible, we are not supposed to love this world. We're supposed to love the spirit world where we came, where we're going back to. So material worship, money worship, and gold worship, and all these other physical material things is a form of idol worship, according to my research. And I'm like anybody else on planet Earth. Of course, I want money in the bank and live in a nice house and eat good food. But I think there's a point where it can be more an obsession, and a person can be not grateful to God for these things and fall into the trap of idol worship. So it says here, Sir Hapium equals Metatron equals angel of his presence, Yoshia. So they're using dramatia. Apparently you take the letters of a word and you add it up, and if it equals the same amount as another word, both words are supposed to mean the same thing. So they apparently are saying they looked up these words, and in dramatia, these words mean the same thing. If you add up the words for Metatron, and you add it up to angel of his presence, and if you add it up to Yoshia and Shaddadi down below, Enoch, you get the same total if you use dramatia. Like A is 6, and B is 12, and C is 18, and D is 24. You just keep adding 6. That's one form of dramatia. There are other numbers associated with letters, different forms, to come up with different systems. So dramatia is a mystical system within the Zohar used to decode the various names of God from the Torah. Through repetition of the sacred names of God, the initiate is transported to the throne room where he receives a vision of Metatron, the prince of the presence, seated on the throne like God. So apparently, if you know these mystical names of God and you repeat them over and over and over, and you practice this initiation and meditation, etc., you can get these visions of this Metatron archangel sitting on the throne. Like God, not God. Gershom Scholem, Scholem, was a leading authority on the Kabbalah. I believe I made a book review on one of his books. In his book, Kabbalah, Shalom states, in Merkabah literature, the names of angels easily intermingle with the secret names of God. So apparently, according to the Bible, there are something called fallen angels, and these are the entities that I suppose seemingly control planet Earth. The formula, the Lord God of Israel, is very often added to a particular name, but many of the chief angels have also been added to their names. Kabbalah Secrets Christians need to know. So what I'm trying to focus on here is the name they have for this deity, and apparently this particular rabbi says the name of the deity, one of the names of the deity, is Metatron. And I did go on Yahoo image site and looked up Metatron to see some symbolisms for this deity. Apparently a fallen angel. And he's depicted as a fallen angel or an angel. Quoting one rabbinic source after another, Shapira notes the word Metatron in Dramatia equates to the value of the word Shaddai. We conclude that Metatron is El Shaddai, the manifestation of God, who is visible on earth and visible to men. Page 244 of his book. What was his book's name here that I read earlier? So his name is Itzhak, Shapira, the Messiah of the Jewish Kabbalah, and his book is part 4 is the Return of the Kosher Pig. So I guess the name of the book is the Messiah of the Jewish Kabbalah, Return of the Kosher Pig, and offers a pro-offering the angel Metatron as the Messiah. So to make that clear, I can't get all the information in this book out. Hopefully, with the pictures I add, I make it coherent enough that people will get it. As we know, Metatron is the prince of the world, and he, Metatron, is the lad who serves from above. As the sages explained, he is the keeper of the gate. Enoch is Metatron. Metatron is called the guardian of Israel. Babylonian Talmud speaks of the prince of the world, who is called the great Metatron. He, Metatron, has 7 names. Page 244, 246, parentheses added. I hate that when I miss something, but I want to make sure I got... All right, here we go. Rabbi Itzhak, last name Shapira, his book, Return of the Kosher Pig. So this is a rabbi teaching this stuff. And he's the one teaching that Metatron is a name for the deity. So the saying with Dramatia, which is adding up the letters, you can get the same value as El Shaddai, the manifestation of God, or Yoshia, the name for Jesus, or Enoch, etc. And apparently, according it says here in the Bible, John 14:30, just before his crucifixion, Jesus identified Satan as the prince of this world. So in the Bible, Jesus identifies Satan as the prince of this world. The rabbi I just mentioned identifies Metatron as the prince of this world. He uses Drammatia, totaling up the total of the letters, with these other names, Yoshia, Enoch, Eldadi, these other, Shaddai, Shaddai. I believe that's a deity in the the Muslim people's religion. So they use Drammatia with these different deities and show that they all add up to Metatron or Lucifer or Satan. And so therefore he's preaching they're all one and the same deity, entity, God, whatever. But in Jesus, before his crucifixion, he identifies Satan as the prince of this world, and this rabbi is identifying Metatron as the prince of this world. Paul the apostle called Satan the god of this world. So I said this earlier. Apparently the evil forces control planet Earth. If you wonder why all the craziness and insanity happens, we apparently live in an insane world with some evil forces ruling over it, deceiving everybody, who blinds the minds of those who are lost. And this is an important conversation, in particular because of the situation we are in the world right now with the world lockdown, and since 9/11, destruction of many of the countries in the Middle East, and the economic destruction going on and on and on, even this game playing during the Bush administration with NAFTA and the Pacific trade agreements, and then all of that either enforced or changed, or new programs with the Obama administration, and then along comes President Donald Trump, and all of that gets thrown out, and new stuff gets thrown in, which is causing agitation all over the world, which is obviously going to cause serious problems. So it says here, Paul the apostle called Satan the god of this world, who blinds minds of those who are lost. So people need to become aware of what's really going on and to whom the gospel is hidden. 2 Corinthians 4.3-4. In Ephesians, I'm probably saying that wrong, 2.2, he is called the prince of the power of the air. So according to this author, Deanne Looper, I hope I'm making my point here clear with this conversation. If not, hopefully the second half of this video with the pictures, it'll put 2 and 2 together. If Metatron is not Satan, aka Lucifer, then at the very least he is one of Satan's fallen angels. He is an impostor sitting on a throne in the spirit realm, posing as the Messiah, illuminating Christ-rejecting rabbis and mystics with a counterfeit versions of himself as Yhva, YHVA. So if they do want to destroy Christianity and the Islamic religion and Buddhism and Hinduism and make everybody believe in a deity and a one-world religion, and they're calling his name Metatron, and apparently he is the same as the entity Lucifer or Satan or Moloch or Baal, and they did put up the archway of Baal in London and New York, and later on through the UNESCO, the United Nations Educational and Science Department, I found out they were putting 1,000 archways of Baal in major cities all over the world. And I had to scratch my head and ask myself, why would they be putting up these archways, these doorways, to this demon all over the world? And if I read this and I understand Metatron is the name of the deity that everybody will be forced to worship, according to this rabbi in his book, The Return of the Kosher Pig, it's a fallen angel. So it all does go together if you can wrap your head around it, and that's why I do these videos, and it may seem a little repetitious But if you're like me, after you investigate enough of it, you start to get a picture of what it all really is. Things we don't want to believe or we find too crazy to believe. I agree with all of that. But the Metatron, Merkabah, and the Sephirot tree of knowledge, and the Merkabah is two inverted triangles made of metal, like a cage, and apparently it's some kind of device that people meditate on, and it allows them to have visions of the otherworldly world. Apparently, maybe the underworld with this Lucifer Metatron character sitting on a throne. And then they're convinced it's actually God. Within all esoteric schools of wisdom, the lie of Satan is that eternal life is gained through ascending levels of knowledge. So they say if you ascend to the different levels of knowledge, you can gain life eternal. In occult mythology, Metatron is the angel who gives knowledge to mankind. So the Metatron deity, that if you meditate on the Merkabah, a little triangular six-pointed shape, you can see Metatron, which they want you to believe is God, sitting on the throne. And it's his job to give knowledge to mankind. In Kabbalah, the experience of encountering Metatron upon his throne is known as the Merkabah, the mysticism, chariot mysticism. Throughout the centuries, rabbinic sages have sought to duplicate the experience of Ezekiel's vision of God on the throne. So in the Bible, in Ezekiel, you get clear descriptions of God and his thrones, and actually craft flying in the sky. A lot of people have connected it with UFOs and aliens, described as wheels within wheels carried by four living creatures. Ezekiel 1. Unlike Ezekiel's experience, which was initiated by God, the mystic of Kabbalah uses occult methods to achieve union with the divine apart from the faith in Jesus Christ. So they're trying to give us a substitute or a new religion. And even the Pope and other leaders have called for a new world currency, a new world government, a new world religion. A lot of people are aware of this. Merkabah, mysticism, is man's ascension of the tree of knowledge, of good and evil, symbolized by the Sephirot tree and the six-pointed star, known as Metatron's cube. Merkabah, the six-pointed metal cage I mentioned, you can look it up, Merkabah, is a vehicle used to transport a person to the third heaven to behold the angel Metatron on his throne. Is also called Metatron's cube. It is depicted by a six-pointed star. Remember the six-pointed star. The chariot Merkabah, chariot ascension, was thus a kind of mystic way leading up to the final goal of the soul. Or more precisely, it was the mystic's instrument, the vehicle on which he was carried direct into the halls of the unseen, which was the aim of the mystic of the Merkabah rider. Merkabah is the divine light vehicle allegedly used by the ascended masters to connect with and reach those in tune with the higher realms. Mer means light, Ka means spirit, Ba means body. So you're connecting the light with the spirit with the body. The Merkabah means a spirit body surrounded by a counter-rotating fields of light, wheels within wheels, spirals of energy in the DNA, there you go, in the DNA, which transports spirit body from one dimension to another, Merkabah. It is an interdimensional vehicle consisting of two equally sized interlocking tetrahedra of light with a common center. It can be viewed as a three-dimensional Star of David. So this concerns me to the point of our world becoming technologically controlled with advanced technologies, that can they create these vortexes of electronics energy, electronic magnetic fields like CERN, like HARP, like 5G, and actually manipulate our DNA with these vortexes, these tornadoes of electromagnetic energies, causing people to have visions or ascend and see this Metatron God deity sitting on a throne. What kind of tool will they use to mesmerize all we people on the planet to believe that this deity is the God? Just asking and thinking, reading books, and I'm sure I'm not giving this book justice as what she's probably trying to get across, but I'm trying to give the gist of the fact that there appears to be this new religion, and the deity's name according to this rabbi, and in the Kabbalah teachings, and the Kabbalah historically has been the religion of the Jewish peoples, and this Metatron, even in the Encyclopedia Judaica, is one of these recognized deities. And apparently a fallen angel, maybe a lower level fallen angel, who's on top is always the funny thing, Satan or Lucifer or Metatron or Moloch or Baal. That's what pagan means in the pagan religion, the many different gods. The Encyclopedia Judaica, a Jewish encyclopedia resource, says the following in its article on Merkabah mysticism. Merkabah mysticism, the name given to the first chapter of Ezekiel, the term was used by the rabbis to designate the complex speculations and visions connected with the throne of glory and the chariot, Merkabah, in the Pharisaic, the Pharisees, the leaders of Egypt, and Tetianic Rabbinic sages, circles Merkabah mysticism became an esoteric tradition, the doctrine of the seven heavens and their angelic host, as was developed in the Merkabah mysticism and in cosmology, has also definite magical context. All right, just a bit more and I'm finished here. But in their minds were blinded. But their minds were blinded. For until this day remaineth the same veil untaken away in the reading of the Old Testament, which veil is done away in Christ. But even unto this day, when Moses is read, the veil upon thy heart. So apparently this is in 2 Corinthians 3.14-5. So when we're deceived, we don't see the truth. But if the veil is taken away, you can see the truth. Far from divinely inspired testimony and the gospel of Jesus Christ as presented in the scriptures, Rabbi Shapira's book is more like a magical mystery tour through the endless maze of spiritual darkness that is Kabbalah. If these esoteric writings of the sages so evidently reveal the biblical Messiah, as Shapira claims, why have we not seen more practicing Kabbalists come to the faith of Jesus Christ? Instead, we are seeing a literal explosion and embrace of the Kabbalistic doctrines permeating almost every aspect of society, including the Christian community. This is because the teachings of Kabbalah are nothing more than Jewish fables and myths that turn from the truth which Paul the Apostle cautioned Christians to avoid. That would be in the Bible, Titus 1.4. The question must also be asked, why would Ishtak, I-T-Z-H-A-K, Shapira, S-H-A-P-I-R-A, go to such lengths to write a book which is essentially a means of initiating potential followers of the kosher pig Yeshua into the mysteries of Kabbalah? The answer may be found in the prophecy from the Zohar, the main book of the Kabbalah, and in the legacy of the father of today's Kabbalah. So the point I would like to make and end this video and show you the pictures I looked at is obviously when you got leading rabbis writing book, The Return of the Kosher Pig, and Kabbalah is quite popular all over the world, and a lot of the beliefs that we have all been taught as children we are told that those beliefs are no longer suited to us, useful, or needed, and we're all being indoctrinated into a new belief system. And apparently the deity's name, according to this rabbi, his name is Merkabah, and one of his symbols is the six-pointed star, among other symbols. And it just seems to me that we do have some strange people controlling our world, directing us to this path of a global world religion, a global world order, a global world currency, and as we all know right now, a global world shutdown. My point is, it seems we've got some very interesting characters in charge of our world and working to create a new paradigm, a new reality, a new way of thinking. And my question is it a good thing or a bad thing? Of course, I believe it's a bad thing. But take a look at these pictures and go get this book, and there's more to this conversation. Like I said, I reading just a little bit of it, it's hard for me to really get the message out there, except for there are these mysticism, magic beliefs, and being taught. See the videos I just made. Thanks. Hello and welcome to another video by Rick Miracle, where I'm going to look at some pictures on the Yahoo image site. As you can see here on the screen, I got one here for Metatron, another one for Masonic symbols on the dollar bill, another one is Israeli symbols, another one is Kabbalah symbols, another one is Moloch symbols, Hollywood symbols, Lucifer Hollywood, and corporate occult symbols. So what do all of these topics connect to? How are they all related? I'm reading this book called The Kabbalah Secrets Christians Need to Know. An in-depth study of the kosher pig and the gods of Jewish mysticism, Deanne Looper. So in the book, Deanne Looper points out that the deity mentioned in the Kabbalah, apparently the religion of the New World Order, the global world order, you'll see the symbols and know this is true. Anyways, one of the deity's names is named Metatron. There's all kinds of image depictions of this Metatron, but I want to focus on some particulars of these images on the Yahoo image site. And remember, when you look at these pictures, you can click the link to the right and get the inside information on what it means. Like in this case, oh my, the light grid, lichness, real dues, whatever that means, 46th day of meditation with Master A.A. Metatron in 7 sacred weeks, the angelic realm. So again, mentioned in Kabbalah Secrets Christians Need to Know, Deanne Looper's book. I looked up Metatron and I found these images. One of the common denominators, of course, is the six-pointed star. Rainbow colors, rainbow coalition, pansexualism, gay marriage, rainbow colors beamed on courthouses and bridges after the Supreme Court banned states from banning gay marriage. It's all connected. And I'm not anti-gay or anything else. I don't believe in hate. I don't believe in violence. But I also don't believe that the satanic Luciferic Metatron forces should be trying to destroy Christianity and create a global world order. And of course, this is April 16th, and we all know the whole world is shut down, and a lot of people are mentioning that things are never going to be the same. And I think that pretty much goes without saying every year for the last 20 years, and maybe a bit further back. But Metatron, this deity that's supposed to be the God of the New World religion, the God of the Kabbalah, and the Kabbalah is historically the religion of the Jews. The Jews are Kabbalah, and the Kabbalah is the Jews. According to the Encyclopedia Judaica and many of the books written by rabbis. So here you see some common denominators with Metatron, the tree of life, six-pointed star, the light being. So we can confirm that Metatron involves the six-pointed star. No doubt about it. Involves a light being. No doubt about it. Involves these kinds of designs and colors. No doubt about it. The symbols are everywhere. The coin Metatron. Wow. You can't make this stuff up, but you can look it up. Metatron. Fallen angels, angelic beings, six-pointed star. Is there any doubt? Masonic symbols. So we're talking about the six-pointed star. And assuming that the United States is under control of these satanic Luciferic forces, then one would have to possibly believe that the symbols would be similar. Well, they are. Six-pointed star on the dollar bill. There's all kinds of connections here that other people have made. The illumined eye, the great architect Lucifer, and apparently Lucifer is supposed to be this Metatron. They give these pagan gods, these demonic gods, numerous names. And on the dollar bill, of course, it says Anut Conceptus, which means the announcing the completion or the conception. And the bottom, of course, says Novus Order Seclorum, secular new world order. And the 13 stars, which makes a six-pointed star. And the feathers, 9 feathers, 9 spheres, 13 arrows, 13 leaves, 13 berries. So somebody's connected the six-pointed star with the dollar bill and the Freemasons. I don't think there's any doubt about that. A lot of people know that on the dollar bill, right above the 1 is perched an owl, as you see here. That would be Moloch. Let's go to Kabbalah symbols. And remember, the Kabbalah Secrets, the book I'm reading, Christians Need to Know, involves the six-pointed star. This is what you call, on the right-hand side of this picture, a Merkabah. A A person is sitting inside two triangles inverted. Apparently, devices like this help people reach other dimensions with their spiritual being, called channeling. Kabbalah. The new religion of the global world order. And according to this author, Deanne Looper, the deity is supposed to be Metatron, also known as Lucifer. Israeli, the symbols there are the six-pointed star, the candlestick. I just put in Israeli symbols, Israel symbols. And you can see the candlestick. Six-pointed star, six-pointed star, six-pointed star. The Freemasons, the demon god Moloch, the little owl. And if you look up Moloch, you get the six-pointed star and a picture of the bull's head, symbol of the Mormon temple. Moloch, symbol of the Mormon temple. You can't make this stuff up, but you can look it up. Crazy. Even Washington, D.C. street plan is in the shape of Moloch. Moloch comes in a couple flavors. The owl or the bull. Six-pointed star, Moloch. Metatron. Freemasonic symbols. The Kabbalah. There's a Kabbalah symbol right there. The Merkabah, a device that enables people to do interdimensional communication or summon these demonic beings, fallen angels. Hollywood, Lucifer. All kinds of magic feats and symbols. We've all seen this stuff. So you can go look this up at Yahoo image site. Wow, it's not letting me get some of these pictures in here. Hollywood, Talmudic, Antichrist indoctrination, Zionist propaganda. So you can click the link on the right-hand side here and get the scoop on the research that other people have made. Zio Hollywood gives Lucifer own TV series as superhero crime fighter, or Antichrist is your friend. Lucifer, not Morning Star. This is from the episode of Lucifer called LUX. Satan's Children, the Clones. So we people all across the planet have been indoctrinated into these symbols to think that there's I don't know what was going on there. Third eye, Egyptian religion, Lucifer, transgender agenda. So you can connect the dots yourself with these websites. I looked at some corporate logos. So remember, we're talking about Metatron, six-pointed star. We're talking about Masonic symbols, six-pointed star. We're talking about Zionist Israeli symbols, six-pointed star. The Star of David is on the flag of Israel. This would be Metatron is the deity of the Kabbalah. Kabbalah apparently is part of the New World religion. Metatron illuminated. A lot of the movie stars and high political figures wear the red string around their wrist. Six-pointed star. A lot of people think that it's cool. It's a good thing. Chakra clearing, Archangel Metatron. Lucifer symbols. Let's go back up to the top and change this a little bit. Didn't want me to change it. Corporate logos. Stars. Remember, we're looking for sixes. They use many different shapes to try to conceal it, but if all the corporations are part of the satanic New World Order, we are surrounded by messianic symbols. Apparently, we can tell who controls the United States. The all-seeing eye, the hidden hand. Israel revealed, all-seeing eye. Wow. So if you look at the symbols, you can find the 6s and the other symbols, the V's. Logos with Saturn symbolism. So no shortage of available information. And Hollywood involvement. Crazy, 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 crazy. Metatron. Metatron's cube, 6-pointed star. Inside Metatron's cube, you can find every sacred geometrical shape existing on the universe. These three-dimensional shapes appear throughout all creation. Apparently, this is supposed to be the God of the New World Order. Angels' guidance. Awakening into love. Awakening into love. Awakening into love. Moloch on the dollar bill. Moloch, 6-pointed star. Sacrificing children to the demon god. Let's try something else here. Bohemian Grove in California. Remember, they got the little owl on the dollar bill, Moloch. At the Bohemian Grove, where some of our leaders and world leaders meet every year, they got this giant owl. Look at all these wealthy elite people meeting at the Bohemian Grove with a big bonfire. Burning, looks like a straw man. That's a witchcraft thing. They speak to each other. Apparently the Bohemian Grove is where they developed the plans for the nuclear bombs. And here they have a giant owl and a fire. And apparently they throw a baby into the fire and called the cremation of care. And a lot of our leading politicians have been photographed there with the owl. And apparently the symbol for Metatron one of the symbols is the 6-pointed star. And for Lucifer, you can find the 6-pointed star if you look. You can see the angel symbolism. Satan hailed by Hollywood. Metatron, according to Kabbalah Secrets Christians need to know, is the new deity people will be forced to worship. Metatron's cube, a mystical three-dimensional cube used by the Archangel Metatron to watch over the flow of energy connecting Earth and the divine. It spins with energy to help you replace negative thoughts with positive ones. That's a spooky picture. All-seeing eye, Metatron, Omega, Zero, chamber label. Metatron. Masonic symbols, Moloch. All-seeing eye. Six-pointed star, Metatron. Six-pointed star. Merkaba, a symbol used as an amulet. Apparently, meditating on it helps you communicate with, that's a Metatron cube on this site here, researching Metatron. And that's an Israeli symbol here. And of course, the flag of Israel, Metatron, six-pointed star, Merkaba, Metatron, Bohemian Grove, Freemasonic symbols, Henry Kissinger, Gerald Ford, 1977, Bohemian Grove, throwing a baby into the fire, cremation of care. Human hunting at Bohemian Grove, says witnesses. So isn't it nice to know that our leaders are meeting there and involved in these kinds of crazy things? It's all fire and brimstone. Moloch, Lucifer, Hollywood, Moloch demon, Kabbalah, Israeli symbols. Masonic symbols. Metatron. Yep. So anyways, I'm convinced myself that you can connect Moloch, Baal, Lucifer, Satan, Metatron, Kabbalah, corporate symbols, Bohemian Grove, Hollywood symbols. Our world is permeated with satanic Luciferic symbols. Columbia Pictures, Metatron. Columbia Pictures, Light Being, Metatron, Masonic symbols. Moloch on the dollar bill, the demon Moloch sacrifices. All the Hollywood symbolism. Their sons and their daughters they sacrificed to the idols of Canaan. The black child for the fires, Moloch, Moloch. Dollar bill, demons, owl worship. Six-pointed star. Six-pointed star, six-pointed star. So there you have it. Just a look at some pictures, trying to connect the dots. As crazy as it may seem, I call upon Archangel Metatron to purify our spiritual life. I don't think I want to call on Metatron, Lucifer, Moloch, Baal, Satan, etc., etc. Do you?